My Piece of Cake, from the New York Times. Melissa Clark introduces the most adaptable one-bowl cornmeal pound cake, a recipe that has earned 5 stars and hundreds of happy reader notes. She opens the column with a cheerful good morning. Today we have for you, before listing the featured recipes. She says it's perfect for a lazy Sunday when your sweet tooth calls, because it requires minimal cleanup and can be made without a trip to the store. All you need is cornmeal, a couple of eggs, and the usual pantry baking staples: flour, baking powder, sugar, and similar basics. With those ingredients on hand, you can whip the cake up in about an hour, baking time included. Once it's out of the oven, the possibilities are open. Frost it, slice it, and toast it with butter, dollop it with whipped cream, sour cream, or ice cream, or simply cut it up and serve it as is. Because leftovers keep for days in the fridge, the cake works well for snacking, breakfast, or dessert throughout the week. The same column also highlights 3 other featured recipes. First, Kiano Moju's Berbera brown sugar chicken uses the Ethiopian and Eritrean spice blend berbera to give boneless chicken thighs a singular perfume. Brown sugar and orange juice create a gentle sweetness reminiscent of barbecue sauce warmed with spices, and the dish is served over rice with optional sliced cucumbers and tomatoes. Second, Yawanda Kamalef's one-pan fish with bacon and sweet corn combines crisp smoky bacon, juicy sweet corn kernels, and tender fillets of mild white fish. The recipe calls for half a cup of parsley, but any soft herbs such as basil, cilantro, or dill can be substituted if you have an herb garden in full bloom. Third, Wesley Morris's creamy gold potato salad gets its vivid flavor from sweet pickle relish, yellow mustard, and hot paprika. The recipe has been passed down 4 generations from his great-grandmother. Melissa then turns to a literary question for fans of Lily King, asking which novel readers prefer, Writers and Lovers or the newer Heart the Lover. She shares her own preference for Heart the Lover, pointing to the character Yash, who rescues the heroine's bland breakfast by adding hot sauce to unappealingly cooked eggs, a moment that starts her swooning and lasts through the book. She notes that hash browns appear frequently in the novel and are a true labor of love when made from scratch, mentioning a fancy Parmesan-laced version from Rose Traore that reminds her of lax at their best. Finally, she invites listeners to share what they're reading by writing to hellomelissa@newyorktimes.com, saying she's always looking for her next great read. That's the wrap-up for today's Piece of Cake feature. Thanks for listening.